The wind speaks first on Everest. Always. It's a low moan, a hiss across the rock. It was there in 1924. It was there in 1999. A team of climbers searched the North Face. They were looking for ghosts, for answers buried under decades of snow. The mountain is a vast, white tombstone. Most men who die there are lost forever, swallowed by the ice. The mountain decided to show them something. It gave them a secret, a piece of the past held in a frozen grip. He wasn't a corpse, he was a monument. A patch of white against the black scree. Too white to be rock, too still to be living. He was a statue, an alabaster man laid out on a dark plinth. George Mallory, arms spread wide as if embracing the stone. His skin was bleached by the sun and the cold. It looked like marble, smooth, perfect. A fall, a long, terrible fall. The rope had snapped his leg. The mountain had claimed him, but it had not consumed him. It had preserved him. A monument to a question. The contrast was stark, brutal. Some folks say a mountain is just rock, ice, a big dumb pile of geology. They've never stood in its shadow. They've never heard its voice. Everest isn't just a mountain, it's an artist, a painter of vast, cold canvases. Blues so deep they hurt the eyes, whites so bright they sear the soul. Its brushes are the wind, the storm. Its medium is the very air you breathe, thin and sharp as a razor's edge. It is a master of light, shadow, form, emptiness. The wind is a fine-toothed file, slowly sanding down the rock. The sun is a furnace, melting and refreezing the snow, changing its texture. And the ice, a mold, a blade, cracks stone with relentless, silent pressure. It flows in great, slow rivers, carving out valleys, polishing the rock faces until they gleam like polished steel. It sculpted George Mallory. Wind turned tweed to delicate lace. The air stripped moisture. The sun bleached him to bone china. It prepared him for his grand unveiling, a cold art that feels profound, as if it means something. There is a sound to the silence up there. It's not empty. It's full. It's a low hum, a deep, resonant frequency you feel in your bones. It's the sound of immense pressure, the weight of the sky, the grinding miles below. It is a silence that has a voice. It speaks of eternity, of things that were here long before you, and will be here long after you are gone. Your blood in your ears roars, your boots crackle, yet underneath, the deep cello note quiet. It is the mountain's private music, a symphony of cold. Imagine a single cello note, held for 75 years. That was the silence around George Mallory. Long, mournful, beautiful. It filled the space around his body. It seeped into his frozen clothes. It became part of him. The howling wind was just the bow being drawn across the string. The silence was the note itself, pure, unbroken. A question hanging in the air, waiting 3/4 of a century for an audience. The climbers didn't break the silence. They walked into the concert hall. When they touched him, they were touching that silence, the cold, hard fact of his death. This is the music of fate, not an orchestra, but a single sustained note. It plays for men who push the limits. It's the soundtrack to their final moments. Think of that sound, the long, low, patient note of the mountain, the sound of a secret being kept. He carried a photograph. It was a picture of his wife, Ruth. It was his promise, his talisman. He told her he would leave it on the summit. He would place her picture on the roof of the world, a small paper offering to the gods of the mountain. It would be proof, the final, undeniable evidence. The climbers who found him were gentle, reverent. They searched his pockets. They were looking for history, for the answer. They found his altimeter, his watch, stopped forever, his snow goggles, a stag-handled knife, letters from home, their ink still faintly legible. They were peeling back the layers of the man, searching for the truth of his last day. The pockets of a dead man are a sacred place, but they did not find the photograph. The pocket where he would have kept it was empty. An empty promise. a space filled with nothing but questions. This absence was louder than any artifact they found, a hole in the story, a missing piece of the puzzle. Did he make it? Did he stand on the summit, pull the photo from his pocket with frozen fingers, and place it gently on the snow? Or did the photo fall from his pocket during the long, terrible tumble down the face, lost to the wind? This small, crucial absence turns a tragedy into a legend, the small paper heart of the story. The rope is a climber's lifeline, a bond of trust, a physical connection between two people. It is the difference between a slip and a fatal fall. Strong, but not infallible. Cut by rock, weakened by cold. Mallory was roped to Andrew Irvine. They moved as one. Finding Mallory revealed the rope's final word, a severe rope jerk injury around his waist. The rope snapped, or it pulled one man off, then the other. It did its job, transmitting force, a brutal final communication. The rope meant to save them became doom. Irvine's location remains a mystery, a phantom cord across miles and decades. Did Mallory cut the rope to save himself? Or did the mountain cut it? There are stories on the mountain, whispers, ghosts on the North Col, a hole in his cheek. The finder died the next day. The location died with him. Was this Irvine? The description doesn't match Mallory. Another piece that doesn't fit. Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe a place can hold the memory of a tragedy? On Everest, the line is thin as the air. The wind on that mountain is a thief. It steals the heat from your body, the breath from your lungs, the words from your mouth. It scours the rock and tears at the ice, a constant, restless presence. It carries the snow from peaks to valleys. It carries prayers and scatters them to the sky. It has seen everything. It has heard everything. It knows the answer. If you could ask the wind one question, what would it be? Would you ask it if he made it, to describe his final moments? Did he see the world spread out beneath him? Did he taste triumph before the fall? The wind would not answer. It would just howl. It speaks one language, indifference, a witness that will never testify. We are left to ask the questions ourselves, to shout them into the gale. Why? Why did he have to fall? Was it worth it? Is any summit worth a life? We ask from warm rooms, at a safe remove. It's easy to judge. But we were not there. We did not feel the pull of the summit, the siren song of the unclimbed peak. So I ask you, what would you have done? If you had the strength, the courage, the obsession, would you have turned back or pushed on? Would you risk everything for one moment of glory? It's the part of us that needs to explore, to conquer, to know what lies beyond the next ridge, the fire that drives us to the edge, and sometimes over it. So, we come to the end. But there is no end. There is only the mountain, silent, white, supreme. It holds all the cards. It knows the truth. It knows if George Mallory stood on its highest point. It knows where he placed the small photograph of his wife. It knows where Andrew Irvine lies. It knows the story of their final hours, the struggle, the fall, the end. The mountain knows everything, and it says nothing. Its silence is absolute, the silence of a god or a stone. Up there is no difference. We are left with the pieces, the Alabaster Man, the empty pocket, the broken rope, the ghost on the ridge. We can arrange clues, form theories, argue and debate, but we cannot know. It is the perfect crime, a crime with a million witnesses, the sun, the moon, the stars, and none that can testify. We want a conclusion. We want the end. We want to know if he was the first. We want victory or noble failure. The mountain denies us this comfort. It forces us to live with uncertainty, that some truths are lost forever. Mallory's story is not about endings. It is about the question itself, because it's there. That was his reason. And it is our reason for asking, because the mystery is there. The truth is not in a book or a lab. It is up there, locked in ice, written in wind, a secret the mountain keeps, a secret more famous than any answer. The legend is greater than the man. This is TDF-TV. We audit the shadows. Join our search party. Subscribe. Stay safe. Stay found.